And welcome to Chapter 4 of the Compound Effect. I'm Stephen Lindwall. One of the hardest parts of change is the beginning, because in the beginning, everything feels harder than it should. Getting up earlier feels hard, starting a workout feels hard, building new habits feel hard. And that's because at the start, you're fighting inertia. It's similar to a space shuttle launching into outer space. Did you know that rockets use the majority of its fuel just getting off the launch pad? Because overcoming inertia requires the most energy. And personal growth works the same way. The beginning is heavy, but once momentum builds, forward motion becomes easier. That's why routines matter so much. One thing I've learned is that what gets scheduled gets done. If something matters, but never makes it into your calendar, it usually doesn't happen, at least consistently. So, for example, scheduling daily walks, scheduling weekly professional development, scheduling bi-weekly date night. These aren't life-changing individually, but repeated consistently, they create momentum. And let's be honest, nobody feels excited about a quick 7-minute workout, 20 flights of stairs, or a cold shower in the morning. But after you do the hard things consistently, your standards begin to change. Momentum changes that conversation internally. At first you say, I have to do this, but eventually, this is just what I do. That's when consistency starts becoming identity. Let's reflect. Your daily actions shape your future, whether intentional or not. Momentum isn't created by giant breakthroughs. It's created by repeated actions that reduce resistance over time. One of the biggest misconceptions about momentum is that once you build it, you never lose it. But the reality is, momentum has to be maintained. And the good news, it doesn't require dramatic changes. It requires small acts of consistency, repeated intentionally. One thing I've learned is that effective routines don't stop in the morning. They continue throughout the day and into the evening. An evening routine can be just as important as a morning routine because how you finish your day often determines how you start the next one. For me, that might mean reading a few pages before bed, reflecting on the day, or preparing for tomorrow instead of mindlessly scrolling on social media. Those small decisions help create momentum that carries forward into the next day. There's another lesson I've learned about consistency. Consistency doesn't mean doing the exact same thing every day forever. Sometimes maintaining momentum means introducing enough variety to keep yourself engaged. Because even positive habits can become stale if they're starting to feel like obligations. For example, I enjoy reading regularly. I also like listening to TED Talks. There's a variety of topics there about technology, leadership, personal development. There's something new every day. So the goal isn't simply repetition. The goal is continuous growth. And occasionally changing the approach helps keep that passion alive. Let's be honest. Most of us don't quit because the habit stopped working. We quit because we got bored. It's amazing how quickly I've got a routine can turn into maybe I'll start again next week. Sometimes momentum is reinforced through very small actions. So back to reading those few pages, listening to 2 TED Talks during my workout warm up, doing wall squats during the day. Not because any one of those actions is extraordinary, but because they keep me engaged in the process. They remind me that growth is happening daily. One of the greatest dangers isn't failure, it's drift. Most people don't suddenly abandon their goals. They just gradually stop paying attention. They stop tracking. They stop being intentional. And over time, they drift away from the person they intended to become. So I have two questions for you. Number one, what small daily action helps you stay mentally or physically engaged when motivation is low? And number two, think about an inconsistency in your life. How can you reestablish your commitment? In closing, momentum doesn't come from doing something extraordinary once. It comes from continuing to show up, especially after interruptions. And sometimes maintaining momentum isn't about working harder, it's about staying engaged long enough for consistency to become part of who you are. Please stick with me for the next episode on influences in Chapter 5. Thank you.